take the mick and waste your time. But thanks so much. So I have a few collections here and a few books. I have a lot of Seamus Heaney. I have some selected W.B. Yeats. If I can get round to it, I'd love to read a Stephen James Smith, who's a wonderful a Dublin-based poet. And yes, okey-doke. So where to begin? I think in the Hall Lantern. Oh, that's the spirit level. Where's the Hall Lantern? Because lockdown is kind of coming to an end, and a lot of people in Ireland are out and about again and planning travel. Ireland's chief medical officer is stepping back for a moment, and he's done a wonderful job, but he encouraged people to think twice about taking a holiday abroad because of the impact it will have on the second wave, which will happen. I thought this one was a nice one, and it's Postscript by Seamus Heaney, which is actually in the spirit level. Yeah, it's in the spirit level. Postscript. And sometime, make the time to drive out west into County Clare along the flaggy shore in September or October, when the wind and the light are working off each other, so that the ocean on one side is wild with foam and glitter, and inland among stones the surface of a slate-grey lake is lit by the earthed lightning of a flock of swans, their feathers ruffed and ruffling, white on white, their fully grown, headstrong-looking heads tucked or cresting or busy under water. Useless to think you'll park and capture it more thoroughly. You are neither here nor there. A hurry through which known and strange things pass, as big soft buffetings come at the car sideways and catch the heart off guard and blow it open. Isn't that a lovely one? It is indeed. While I'm on a Heaney buzz, I'm going to read you one from Station Island. And there was two poems in Station Island. One is A Hazel Stick for Catherine Ann, and the other is A Kite for Michael and Christopher, which I came to again a little while ago and I thought it was lovely. It's a bit dark. It's not dark. It just, yeah. A Kite for Michael and Christopher. These are his two sons. A hazel stick for Catherine Ann was for his daughter, I believe. All through that Sunday afternoon, a kite flew above Sunday, a tightened drumhead, an armful of blown chaff. I'd seen it grey and slippy in the making. I'd tapped it when it dried out, white and stiff. I'd tied the bows of newspaper along its 6-foot tail. But now it was far up, like a small black lark, and now it dragged as if the bellied string were a wet rope hauled upon to lift a shoal. My friend says that the human soul is about the weight of a snipe, yet the soul at anchor there, the string that sags and ascends, way like a furrow assumed into the heavens. Before the kite plunges down into the wood, and this line goes useless, take it in your two hands, boys, and feel the strumming, rooted, long-tailed pull of grief. You were born fit for it. Stand in here in front of me and take the strain. That's A Kite for Michael and Christopher by Seamus Heaney. I had this wonderful collection of Yeats poems, which was given to me by Caroline Henry. I think it was a birthday gift. And it's as selected as a wonderful foreword from Seamus Heaney. It's selected by Seamus Heaney. And there's a few here, there's loads here I would read out to you. There seemed to be a lot of requests for Irish poetry, so let's have it. Let's have at it. No Second Troy. It's one of kind of W.B. Yeats' many laments on unrequited love, albeit this taking place at the time of civil war, etc. No Second Troy. Why should I blame her that she filled my days with misery, or that she would of late have taught to ignorant men most violent ways, or hurled the little streets upon the great, had they but courage equal to desire? What could have made her peaceful, with a mind that nobleness made simple as a fire, with beauty like a tightened bow, a kind that is not natural in an age like this, being high and solitary and most stern? Why, what could she have done, being what she is? Was there another Troy for her to burn? Old William. Sassy. There's a nice poem here about, it's like for a friend whose work has come to nothing, I believe it's called. It's quite a nice little tribute. If I can see it quickly, I will read it. Holding this phone at the same time is troublesome. How are you guys doing, by the way? I didn't even ask how you were keeping. How's that? Isn't that terrible? Isn't that just terrible? You guys doing okay? Washing your hands? It's not over yet. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it's terrible here. We're fine. I'm glad. It's rough all over. I think it's a year that'll go down in infamy. And every middle school, high school student, secondary school student will be studying 2020 in history class for the next God knows how long, until civilization winds itself down. To a friend whose work has come to nothing. Now all the truth is out. Be secret and take defeat from any brazen throat. For how can you compete, being honour bred, with one who, were it proved he lies, were neither shamed in his own nor in his neighbour's eyes? Bred to a harder thing than triumph, turn away, and like a laughing string, or upon mad fingers play amid a place of stone, be secret and exult, because of all things known. That is most difficult. That's to a friend whose work has come to nothing. 2020. I had to check there that it is 2020. That it is in fact 2020. I have this book of Ovid's poetry as well too, or like his epic poetry. I was thinking I'll throw some of his stuff in. But not before I read you a few more. I had one marked in this wonderful collection, and it was a poet from based in Northern Ireland, and so help me God, I will find it now. But I was very annoyed that as soon as I started this stream, I lost track of it and it was gone. I'm not sure, by the way, how many of these I'll be able to do on Fridays. We'll have to wait and see. But I'd say, the next few Fridays anyway. This is we'll see how we go. See how you guys are. If you guys are up for it. No joy. I'll read you Icarus. From Ovid. So this is Ovid's Metamorphosis, which is, God knows why, in some act of sadomasochism I decided to take up. But it's his just telling of he's a Roman poet, maybe kind of 32 BC. And it's just his telling of world history in this mad, long thread of epic poetry. Starting from the universe's creation through Greco-Roman mythology, etc. This is Daedalus and Icarus. Daedalus now had come to detest his protracted exile in Crete and was longing to visit his native country again. But his way was barred by the sea. King Minos can block my escape by land or water, he sighed. The air at least is still open. My path lies there. He is Lord of the world, but not Lord of the sky. Just so you know, if you're familiar with Daedalus and Icarus, he gets a wee mention in one of the songs on the last album. But am I spoiling it if I tell you that? If you don't know, just this is part of an epic poem. So it's not, it's a very different style. And it's about 2,000 years older than anything I've just read. The air at least is still open. My path lies there. He is Lord of the world, but not Lord of the sky. So saying, he put his mind to techniques unexplored before and altered the laws of nature. He carefully layered some feathers, the smallest to start with, the shorter positioned next to the longer. You'd think they had grown like that, as sometimes rustic panpipes rise in a gradual slope with their reeds of unequal length. And then he bound them with twine in the middle and wax at the bottom. This neatly compacted plumage, he curved in a gentle camber to imitate real birds' wings. His young son, Icarus, standing beside him, and little aware of the threat to himself he was touching, smiled as he caught at the feathers fluttering in the breeze. And now and again he would carelessly soften the yellow wax with his thumb, enjoying his game as he meddled and interfered with his father's wonderful work. But soon the finishing touches were deftly laid, and Daedalus balanced his aged body on both of his wings, then beat at the air and hovered, suspended. Next he instructed his son, now Icarus, listen carefully, keep to the middle way. If you fly too low, the water will clog your wings. If you fly too high, they'll be scorched by fire. Fly between sea and sun. No need to determine your course by Boötes the bear or Orion's naked sword. Like a sailor, simply follow my lead. As he gave his pupil his flying orders, he fitted the wings on the boy's inexperienced shoulders. And while he did it, the old man's cheeks were wet with tears, and his hands were trembling in fatherly fear. Then, kissing the lips of his darling son for the very last time, he rose on his wings and flew in front, as afraid for the lad as a bird escorting her fledgling out of her mountain nest to float on the breezes. Follow, he cried, as he taught him the skills that would prove his downfall. Moving his own two wings, he kept looking back at his sons. They were spied by a fisherman dangling his catch on his quivering rod, a shepherd at rest on his crook, and a ploughman steering his ploughshare. All watched in amazement, thinking, they certainly must be gods to fly through the air. Now Juno's island, Samos, was coming up on the left. Delos and Paros were far behind them. Lebynthos lay to the right with a honey-rich island, Calymne. When all this adventurous flying went to Icarus's head, he ceased to follow his leader. He'd fallen in love with the sky and soared up higher and higher, The scorching rays of the sun grew closer and softened the fragrant wax which fastened his plumage. The wax dissolved, and as Icarus flapped his naked arms, deprived of the wings which had caught the air that was buoying them upwards, "Father," he shouted, again and again. But the boy and his shouting were drowned in the blue-green main which is called the Icarian Sea. His unhappy father, no longer a father, called out, "Icarus, where are you, Icarus? Where on earth shall I find you? Icarus," he kept crying, and then he caught sight of the wings in that water. Daedalus cursed the skill of his hands and buried his dear son's corpse in a grave. The land where he lies is known as Icaria. Poor lad. Poor lad. Yeah. I'm going to find this poem, so help me God. And I think I might have to go shortly. I thought I'd lose a few hearts with the inclusion of epic Ovid Carry On, and that's absolutely fair too. But there was talk of short stories, so why not? I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you are keeping safe and looking after one another. And yeah, I'm thinking about just taking care with your own lives and other people's lives in these awful times, challenging times. In Florida, send help. I heard Florida is particularly badly hit, so my heart goes out to you. Wear a mask, whatever you do. I'm trying to wear a mask much, much more, and it was definitely a lapse for a period where things seemed okay, but most times I'm leaving the house, in fact, anytime I'm leaving the house, I'm trying to throw on a mask. This is going to kill me. This is going to kill me. Finding this goddamn poem. I need it. I flippin' need it. I should just check out the index, but you'd have to pause and wait while I read a thing, and that might be unbearable. You know? But yeah. If I can't find it in the next run, so help me God. Yeah, look. This is just silly. What do I have? I do know there was a Stephen James Smith that I wanted to read. I gotta give you one more. We'll wait. Okay, we'll wait. Okay, because it's a lovely poem and it's heartbreaking, and if I don't find it, I'll be very annoyed with myself. So, hang on one sec. I wish I could just put you down, but I've nothing to... Come here. Yoink. Boom. There we go. Oh my God, so much better. So much better. Why didn't I do that? Goddamn. This is this lovely collection. Neil Astley edited this one. There's two I was given as a gift at one stage. One is called Being Human, and one is called Staying Alive. And they're really, really good, well curated collections. I have to say, there's a lot of real gems in here. Okay. I swear to God, if I'm looking in the wrong book, I'm gonna kick myself. Yeah, just on music stuff, guys. I'm always working on new tunes. I don't know when the next lot is going to be out. I'll be honest. I'm looking forward to it. I will tell you that. And I am enjoying the time to discover what that's going to be, what that's going to be like. Let me just read some things. This must be painful to watch. This is why I was like, I need to get some post-it notes. I need to just put these on these pages. Boom. That's why. It's not marked under F. It's marked under ampersand. Or and. Sinead Morrissey. And I'll leave you with this one. Hey guys, thanks for saying hey. Sorry for that radio silence. So, Sinead Morrissey. It's a poem called "And Forgive Us Our Trespasses." You probably see from this, she's a poet based in Northern Ireland, I believe, but you can see how a lot of the language of where my work comes from a similar place. And forgive us our trespasses, of which the first is love, the sad, unrepeatable fact that the loves we shouldn't foster burrow faster and linger longer than sanctioned kinds can. Loves that thrive on absence, on lack of return, or worse, on harm, are unkillable, Father. They do not die in us, and you know how we've tried. Loves nursed inexplicably on thoughts of sex, a return to touched places, a backwards glance, a sigh. They come back like the tide. They are with us at the terminus when cancer catches us. They have never been away. Forgive us the people we love, their dragnet influence, those disallowed to us, those who frighten us, those who stay on uninvited in our lives and every night revisit us, accept from us the inappropriate by which our dreams and daily scenes stay separate. Isn't that a little beaut? Sinead Morrissey, and forgive us our trespasses. Up the Ivory Coast, guys, there's way more. There was so much more I wanted to read. I lost a bit of time there trying to find that. I'm going to get some post-it notes, and if we do this again, I'm just going to go bam, bam, bam. It's going to be a Tommy gun of poetry. You won't know which hits you. You'll be riddled with vowels and consonants and all the nice words.